Thank you, Stephen, and welcome everybody. We've got almost 900 people here today, tonight, which is just outstanding. People may have noticed that when you received your membership renewal, it just has a simple little statement in there, and it just says the Melbourne Football Club first and forever. And it's a simple statement which both describes who we are, but also defines what our expectations are. Yes, we were first. The fact that we were unashamedly celebrate. Our story is that of the game itself, which way back in the day were 10 simple rules of engagement. I was just talking to Ron Barassi, the rules of engagement in our game now number over 380. There's 380 rules in our game. And they're penned at a meeting chaired by Tom Wills, and they're now watermarked into our club's emblem, and they're called the rules of the Melbourne Football Club. The sixth of these rules described a concept called the mark, which is the act of catching the ball directly from the foot. And it might well be that 153 years on, and thousands of players later, that Jeremy Howe does that as well as any person who's ever played the game. The many layers of our heritage are in fact a series of firsts, the moments that become folklore and have become the narrative of our club. And they're basically, in many ways, the reasons why we're here tonight. I'm never sure whether we choose the game or choose our club, or whether the game chooses us. But what I do know is regardless of what it does to us, how harshly we feel treated by it, we keep coming back for more. Because the relationship is forever, it is part of who we are, and we get to share it, and we get the breadth of the emotion that actually goes with it. But mostly it's about pride. And then, therefore, first and forever is not just a reflection on our heritage, it is a challenge, and it is a demand to be first, to be the best, forever part of the storied history of our club and its legacy, particularly with those with whom leadership responsibility is vested. In a game like ours, the team and the club means everything, and that responsibility gets shared. Everyone must understand and be committed to playing their role. You cannot win otherwise. From time to time, leadership responsibility will rest in unexpected places, and this can be uncomfortable, and leadership is hard. And season 2012 for the Melbourne Football Club was a lot like that. It was difficult, unique and complex issues, all played out in a very public way, and with a scoreboard that judged us accordingly. And we managed a few more firsts. A first-year coach, 2 first-year captains who started the year with a combined total of around 70 games, and one of whom is the youngest in the history of the competition. And they stood their ground, and we expected no less. But these are young men selected for more than their talent and their ability. They are people you can build strong clubs around. The toughest steel is forged in the hottest oven, and such was this season. But they were not on their own, and we've added a depth of expertise, experience and know-how across our club, including a restructured football group, as Russell mentioned, both coaching, recruitment, list management, as a result of a rebuilt business model, and in particular a passion and a commitment from our members, from our board, from our staff, our foundation heroes, the MCC, and our great people who work on a day-to-day basis for our club. I'm very proud of them. When it would be really easy for these people to walk away. And as we've said before, it is not the club that sets the standard, it's the competition itself, it's the quality of your opponent. And if you're ever in doubt what this looks like, take yourself to the MCG, watch the last 2 weeks of the finals, watch the game closely, the victor and the vanquished, and that will tell the story, and we should expect nothing less. On the back of the players' jumpers there's 12 gold stars in an unfinished circle. We often get asked what that actually means. Each star has a story, but is also a reminder, particularly to the players who get to wear that jumper each week, of what our clear objective is to put more stars in that circle. Over the past few years, we've made a strong effort to celebrate the heritage, the history of our club, and the moments that become folklore of the club. And on the screen now is a beautiful piece of artwork put together by Owen Abrahams that celebrates the 1956 team as it prepares for a game, and it captures an era and it captures a time. The team went on and won the premiership, our second consecutive grand final, our 8th gold star, beating Collingwood by 73 points. I'm sure Noel would remember this well, in front of over 115,000 people. The team has been inducted into the Australian Sporting Hall of Fame and has been dubbed as the finest team of all. It was captained by Noel McMahon, and it's fantastic to have Noel here tonight. And it was to be Noel's last game, as it was Stuart Spencer and Dennis Cordner. And whilst we love to celebrate the greatness of victory, such was how special this Melbourne era was, we sometimes forget, or it's almost forgotten, the years preceding that, but not by those who were there. I suggest you spend time with Noel McMahon. He'll remind you that it was just 5 years before the finest team of all that Melbourne won one game for the whole season, and 2 years later, Norm Smith's second as coach, they won just 3 games. He will tell you that Norm only just survived as a coach in that year, 1954. It was his 6th year as an AFL or VFL coach as it was then, and he was yet to coach a final. He'd coach 8 grand finals in the next 11 years and win 6 premierships. And in the image, there's Norm's talking to his protege, Ron Barassi. Ron is only 20 years of age. Ron, of course, is the son of Norm's great mate, Ron Barassi Sr., who was killed in Tobruk, the first player to lose his life in the Second World War. Norm was also a teammate of Bluey Truscott, Sid Anderson, Harold Ball, also lost in war. Their names honour our Best and Fairest awards. They played in premierships together under Checker Hughes. There's Checker in the corner here. He sits there taking it all in because he's seen it all before. Standing at the back of the room is Ivor Warren Smith, then chairman of selectors. He lost both his brothers in war, and despite the effect of mustard gas which he inhaled while serving Australia in France and Gallipoli, he went on and won 2 Brownlows, having resumed his career at the age of 27. Standing with either is Albert Chadwick, who served in both wars and played, coached and was president of the Melbourne Premierships and is an icon of the MCC and the MFC. It's hard to imagine anyone making a greater contribution to one club. And as the game changes, it also stands still. It is indeed timeless. The fundamentals that build this great team are those which will build the great Melbourne team. People of substance with a plan and a belief and a courage to stay the journey, and that is our commitment. Melbourne Football Club, first and forever. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.